Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very, very special episode of You Like That Podcast. You're joined with me. My name is Adam, and I'm one half of You Like That Podcast.
My name's Jack. I'm the other half of the You Like That Podcast.
And we are finally here for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wait, what's this?
This is Spider-Man No Way Home.
What's Spider-Man? That bit really went nowhere. I thought I'd have a dovetail to that bit and it'd just ramp off nicely and there'd be like a good closing punchline. Didn't go further than the first one. Gonna be honest, we're off to a strong start.
Look, emotions are high. Everything's crazy right now in the fucking world. We've gotten possibly the biggest comic book movie in history. But we're finally here this week to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. This is a straight review. There is no news because fuck the news. There is no questions because fuck your questions. They don't mean shit today.
Also, there's no news.
There's also fuck all news.
Nothing's happened.
The news is basically all about Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man made money. A lot of people have seen Spider-Man. Some people spoiled Spider-Man. Maybe Hawkeye? Nah, Spider-Man. It's just like, that's the news this week.
Hawkeye has the finale coming out next week. Big whoop. Kingpin's in it. There you go. Spoiled.
Yeah.
But today we're going to give you a spoiler-free and a spoiler-filled review of Spider-Man. Obviously, it's still so new. A lot of people haven't seen it yet, and this is a huge movie, much like Avengers Endgame was, and other big MCU movies like that. So we'll give you our brief rundown of the movie to begin with, our initial thoughts, everything to do based around the movie, but not internally with the movie.
Yeah, it'll be hard to do, but
yeah. But
I was off the internet for 4 days or something.
Yeah, you went hard.
That's your best way to do it, I think. Like, even reading spoiler-free ones, I was just like, I'd rather just watch it, you know? Yeah. So, come back after you've seen it.
Yeah, definitely. This will be split where you can jump to the certain areas in which you want to see which review once you've seen it.
Yep.
Until you have.
Yep.
So yeah, let's fucking dive fucking head first into this.
Swing straight
into it. So this is going
to
be the spoiler-free section we're going to begin with. It will be a shorter version than anything because the spoiler section is what you want to really listen to.
Imagine if we started with the spoiler section.
People would be so thrown off.
Just like an hour of the episode and then 6 minutes at the end.
Yeah. All right, so jumping in, Spider-Man No Way Home 2021, directed by John Watts, completing his trilogy of the Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yep.
This is a runtime of 148 minutes, the third longest MCU film, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Budget of $200 million, standard.
It's
that Disney Marvel money.
Yep.
Box office as of the 18th of December in Australia, $96 million.
Okay.
That's off the back of 2 days.
Yeah, in one country.
Box office sales in Australia and UK, which is a lot for us.
Yeah.
This has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 94% from the critics based on 264 reviews.
Jesus.
This has a 99% audience review based off 10,000 plus reviews.
We're so used to doing these shit movies on You Like That Extra where like 3 people are reviewing it. That's crazy.
I wanted to put the number of how many people actually did it, just so people have a scope of. It's not like early reviews yet. Nah. We're past that now.
Yeah,
this is full.
Because every movie starts on 100%, pretty much. Because the first review
you'll have the first 7. The first 7 reviews are always the people that fucking like ran from their cinema and like, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
and then it goes 100%. And they're quickly like, fuck yeah, we did it.
Thursday morning at 3 a.m. Just like, ugh.
But then it dipped off a little bit. 94% of the critics. So it's currently the third highest rated critic reviewed MCU, behind Black Panther and Endgame.
Okay.
Black Panther still is sitting on 98%, I think theirs is. Endgame 95.
Yep.
But the audience is the number one. 99% after 10,000 is a ridiculous fucking number.
Yeah, it's huge.
Stupid.
That's huge.
So your main cast for this movie, you got Tom Holland coming back as Peter Parker, Zendaya as MJ, Jacob Batalon as Ned, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Alfred Molina returns as Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe as a Green Goblin, Jamie Foxx as Electro, Jon Favreau as Happy, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, Benedict Wong as Wong, and J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. That is your main cast.
Yep.
We will get rid of everything else here, and now we're going to dive into just the breakdown initially of your base thoughts of Spider-Man No Way Home, Jack. Everyone's eager to hear your thoughts on this first out of anyone.
No, I'm kidding. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It lived up to all expectations.
Yep.
You know, we've been feverishly digging through everything for over a year now.
Yep.
And it's still managed to live up to it. You know, there's not a lot of fat in it. The beginning's a little bit bloated. Zendaya, fuck, she's having a rough run, isn't she? Like she's in June for 4 seconds, but she's not in this very much either. And I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, just the best on-screen depiction of Spider-Man ever.
100%.
Like, Spider-Man 2 is still the best movie of all time.
This is very, it is very Tom Holland based more than anything.
Yeah, 100%, and it had to be because it's a very important arc for him.
Yeah,
with potentially, whatever's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
God, we're just gonna have to talk about it. I don't know how to sum it up in one thing. I'm literally like an hour after seeing it. So
yeah.
Give me a break here.
Your base is that
Give me a
it's
break.
great.
It's a very, very good Marvel movie.
Yeah. So 100% exactly the same. I saw it twice in the one day. I saw it at 10 a.m. and then went, that wasn't enough. So I went at 8:30 again that night.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow it was better the second time. Don't know how. I think because everything sort of settled in with me because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now I can sort of look at those little intricacies here and there.
There is one thing you have to get used to, which we'll talk about in spoilers.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, as a film, I think this cements itself as you can go out on a limb and saying that Tom Holland's trilogy is now the greatest Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, it stuck the
Out of all of
landing.
them.
Like, one of them didn't get a landing.
Yeah.
And the other one had a tragic, horrible ending. So
Yeah, exactly.
not tragic, that's a bit dramatic.
But
it was very shit.
The way they got to sum up Holland's ending to this trilogy, and then setting up its future for the possible Sony exclusive, still on board with Marvel. We're still tossing up where it's going.
Playing nice for now.
It's playing nice for now, and it does everything perfectly where Kevin Feige's going, all right, this is exactly what this movie's going to be. It's going to have its parts for the future here and there because I'm a fucking genius and I know everything.
Yep.
And we're going to wrap this up so fucking neatly in a beautiful present that the world is going to lap this up as the greatest thing to hit the cinemas.
Yeah, and it's also just a very good movie on top of that.
It is also a very good movie.
If you don't give a shit about any of that, it doesn't matter.
Like
you will still have a very fun time if you are aware of the absolute basic knowledge of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You will still be like, this is a great Spider-Man movie. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Big action set pieces.
It's very fun. It's very
Yeah,
nostalgic. It's
it's
bringing back a lot of old villains, which, some people could look at being like, no, it's people we've seen before, but it's like, you haven't seen them like this, though.
It is unbelievably fan servicey.
Yeah.
Like, I shit on Star Wars a lot for fan service, but I have to throw it at this as well. But it's not. It's done better.
Yeah,
and I'm
100%.
not just saying that because it's Spider-Man. Like, it's night and day.
No, it is. It's absolutely
really
brilliant.
night and day.
The way that they do it.
Yeah, we'll get to why, but it's fan service in service of the plot.
Yeah.
It's not just dangling a
Yeah.
bit of tinsel in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit of that because, we grew up with these movies and we grew up with these Spider-Man stories. So there's still a bit of shiny object in front of our face. Oh, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah, of course.
But when you're listening to the movie, when you're watching the movie, it has to be there. It all has to be there.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for it to be there.
Yeah, 100%. And, the whole...
Even Sandman. I was shitting on him last week.
You were.
Sandman has a point.
They all have a point.
And it was Thomas Hayden Church.
But yeah, sorry, I don't know why I was hiding their things. So it is Thomas Hayden Church returning as Flint Marko, aka Sandman, and also Reese Ifans comes back as Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard.
Didn't expect that.
It is him.
Yeah.
As soon as he started talking, because talking to the Lizard, I'm like, anyone can do a British voice like that.
No, but he brings a theatre to it.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice.
He's got that theatre type voice.
Yeah.
You just go, ooh, okay, dangerous man here, dangerous lizard, shall I say? So yeah, they make the return. So it's all those classic villains all getting their comeback, and some of them, I say, getting a much better comeuppance than they did in their own movies that they starred in as the main villain.
Yes.
In this one, they kind of went, no, we'll give you a proper moment. And somehow people felt for them so much more in this than they did in that movie. You were just like...
It's just writing, isn't it? Like, it really comes down to better writing.
Yeah, well, without a doubt. And I think John Watts, as a director, just has to know that he can sleep so peacefully at night.
Yeah.
When you think of the year and the press and the months leading up to it, and when you've got a movie of this caliber and how crazy the world has been fucking clamoring for it.
Yeah.
More than likely losing sleep.
Yeah, I know, I was.
And going, there's every fucking chance that this movie is not what people want it to be.
2 nights ago, I dreamt about it. Like,
yeah,
literally, I was thinking about this movie in my sleep. Literally.
Yep. But you've got to give it to John Watts. He took this Spider-Man trilogy and absolutely made a ride out of it and ended it fucking perfectly.
Yeah, and it's just made with so much love. Like, there's not an ounce of cynicism in it.
Nothing.
There's
at all.
not we're using this just to sell tickets. There's like, it's just, he clearly loves Spider-Man.
Yeah. He
loves the character of Spider-Man, and he just he gave us the best
As
Spider-Man.
everyone does.
Yeah.
After the screenings I've been to and seeing everything around the world, this clearly shows you that Spider-Man as an individual is one of the most well-loved comic book characters that there is.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why I think the future is doesn't stop for Spider-Man.
No, it never will.
No. And it won't.
God, no.
Regardless of what Sony and Marvel do, I think they got to look at this moment in time right now and go, yeah, we fucking did it, didn't we?
Yeah, and even
as a collective child,
even if there is any cynicism behind it, like, Spider-Man makes money. Keep making good Spider-Man things, and we will keep making money.
That is correct.
But this could have been such a mess. Like, this could have been Spider-Man 3,
without a doubt.
With the amount that goes into it, and they don't shy away from some pretty complex, like, things you have to try and think about.
Yeah,
and some of it slips through the fingers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I swear to God, I was listening. This isn't just me not listening. Some of it fell through a little bit, and there's a lot of. What was I talking about? It was a movie recently where there was superhero conveniences. Like some things are just a bit too convenient.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, this is why this is happening. Hopefully, we'll just move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
don't think about it too hard.
Yeah.
Like we joked about it in Looper when Bruce Willis is just like, I'm not going to explain time travel to you.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't say it as bluntly.
Yeah.
But some of it's just like, okay.
But you're going to get that. You're going to get that.
And you have to. Like, otherwise this movie will go for fucking 5 hours.
Exactly. It's a big concept when we're talking about the multiverse.
But.
In general, but.
You follow it. You know what's happening.
It's a very easily followable movie.
You know what's going on. Yeah. There's some cliched exposition and stuff where characters don't talk like real humans, but it services the script. It's
a comic book movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's superheroes. It's what it has to be.
Yeah,
you got to have that little cheesy campiness spread out.
And it's still like our screening was full of children. Like you got to think about it that way as well.
Yeah, I had such a mixed bag of people in both of my screenings because both sessions completely sold out. Every day since has been sold out. Most sessions.
I was going to go and try and go on Monday, but I was just like, oh yeah, it's school holidays. Like this ain't happening, kid.
Yeah, you fucking lucky.
I will wait for the DVD.
Wait for that one there. Yeah, I think that's about as spoiler free as I want to keep it.
We can talk about anything about it, but it's so hard.
I know. That's why, like we can talk about certain actor performances in this, but I think it's going to play more into...
Okay, so in the press leading up, Tom Holland was talking about how the violence is the more... What was he saying? It was just like, it's more violent, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a bit more of a darker Peter Parker, and there's a bit more fighting. More intense brutality.
There's still a lot of CG throwing around, but there's some... There's
some good moments.
There's some hallways.
There's some good moments.
Face-to-faces. There's some... like stuntmen doing stunts, not just all CG, which is really nice if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah, like okay.
And performance-wise,
let's give a brief rundown of Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe's performances.
Yeah, because
sort of what we know without giving away where their story leads into.
And this is not completely spoiler free because this is a fucking minefield.
Yeah,
and we're talking off the dome piece, so forgive us.
We're gonna touch very slightly. So let's start Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina is incredible.
He's so good.
There's no other word.
Everything
for it.
you see in the trailer, you go, "That's great," and then in the movie, like he's given plenty of screen time in the movie.
Yeah,
and where he's utilized in certain areas, you look at it and you go, fuck, man, this is straight from 2000.
Yeah. And he's so comic book villainy in the way he talks and delivers lines and stuff. It's like, just so overblown and straight out of a comic book page. He doesn't really talk like a normal person.
No, without a doubt. It's nothing like a person. It's you listen to him speak as if he's, like happening in a cutscene in a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, and there's so much just like big close-up shots of his face delivering there because Alfred Molina is like classically theater trained as well.
Yeah,
like he's good at these big booming voice monologues and stuff, and he's so good in this role.
Yeah,
like,
he's got his moments here and there where he's very integral to the story. But everything, his interactions with every single character is absolutely fucking brilliant. It's like he never left this role and hasn't been a part of it for the last 17 years,
Yeah, it's like an old pair of slippers that just still fit perfectly. Yeah. Like, he just slides right
and
in.
even with the de-aging, I don't know, like...
It's too good.
People out there that go, well, you can see where, like, the de-aging is happening. I'm going, yeah, but bro, you're a fucking, like, autistic dumbass. Of course you're going to notice that. I look at it and go, that, like... If I saw him on the street, I think that's what he would look like.
Yeah. I forgot he was the age. This is a very, very minor spoiler, but it is a spoiler. 3, 2, 1. Some other characters that come back are not de-aged, and you notice, oh, fuck it, Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe today.
I think there's a little bit, because he does have some bigger wrinkles in the face where they're not there.
Yeah.
So I think it's not as much of, like, shaping, but it's just sort of, like, makeup touch-ups here and there. But
whereas Alfred Molina is full.
Yeah.
Like 2004.
A lot of chins on Molina these days. Not as many in this one.
But
Defoe is very much,
And when he's Doc Ock, like on the bridge scene, the infamous bridge scene, which everyone...
We all know the bridge. It was a big bridge scene, yeah.
He's just like, he's much more dynamic as well. Like fucking, just destruction on an insane scale, and he's just much more villainous as he's doing that as well. Like, it's very brutal. He's not just whipping people around. He's actually like trying to kill Spider-Man. And it's just like, it makes a lot of difference. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
He's great.
Great.
Willem Dafoe, quickly. Willem Dafoe is, he is ungodly. He's just an absolute fucking freak when it comes to acting.
There's no denying this is his movie.
Without a doubt. And, we'll talk about the screen time he's given and such, but for where we see him and everything, he is top to bottom the Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie in today's standards. An absolute nightmarish ghoul that his voice just resonates in your mind over and over again of just going, fuck, I'm scared of this guy right now.
He is so scary and conniving, and like the way he can just switch on good, and when I almost said Dark Passenger. That's Dexter, isn't it?
Dexter, yeah.
When the darker half takes over, like the way he just switches on a dime, but there's still some kindness in his face and in his voice. And then when he just wants the dark half to take it just fully, just like those Willem Dafoe. There's a monologue in the lighthouse where the camera's just on him for literally like 8 minutes or something, and he's just delivering a monologue. Yeah. And there's a bit of that in this as well. It's just like, you can't not. Like, he's so fucking good and magnetic and terrifying. You're right. It's like a roller coaster. Like, holy shit, I'm shitting my pants.
You can't believe it.
I am so scared. But I also can't look away. Like, I was glued to the screen. I don't care where in the world you're sitting, you saw the light from my smile. Like, every time he was on screen, I was just like, it's one of... He's done a lot of performances, so I'm not going to say it's one of his best, but it's such a good performance. It's just a mind-blowing.
You put it as it's one of the best performances for someone to return to a character after
21
19 years
yeah,
or so,
something
whatever
like
it is.
that. Fuck me, it's been a while.
So
we're old.
To go from early 2000 and then hitting it in 2021 and returning on like perfect point.
Yeah. And because the MCU is much more grounded in reality, he has to do it a little bit differently as well, because he's got to be a bit less comic booky. Yeah. Which is weird because that's switched. Like, Doc Ock is just full comic book villain in this, just like Larry as. But Willem Dafoe, I don't know, they must have just noticed something on his first day or something and been like, okay, just put more into him. And
also a guy who recently came out in the interviews and said he was only happy doing this if he got to perform the stunts.
Yeah, he wanted to do fight scenes.
So that doesn't tell you that he didn't just come back for fan service or for a little part in a movie. No, he was coming back to go full Goblin again and make sure that he took part in every single scene that he could physically.
I'm nearly 60 years old, but please throw me through a wall. Yes. Like, that was his mentality, and it just shows, man. Like, he's unbelievable. It's a truly unbelievable performance,
without a doubt.
Just magnetic. Like, that's the only word I can use. Like, you cannot look away.
You absolutely can't. He's a shining moment in this movie, as many others.
God, that voice. He just has the best voice in Hollywood, doesn't he?
It's
And he doesn't voice act because it has to go with his face. Like, I'm sorry, he's a bit of a weird looking bloke.
Yeah, he is, but that's why he's got that voice.
Yeah, exactly. And the voice, oh God, it's just mind blowing what they did with him.
Exactly right. All right. I think that's enough for the spoiler-free sections. Everyone else can sort of grasp onto everything else that we've spoken about thus far. Without giving away too much in the whole grand scheme of this whole movie, it is a fucking perfect movie. It is absolutely what everyone wants in a Spider-Man movie. It is a perfect culmination of 3 generations of waiting for Marvel to take the reins of Spider-Man and just give it such a beautiful send-off type, wait for the future excitement.
Yeah, it's like wrapping a gift, but just in a box where the lid easily comes off, because it is very nicely wrapped. If Tom Holland doesn't want to come back, good, that's fine. We've got a perfectly sound trilogy.
Yep.
But you can just lift the lid off and reach in there, pull little Tom Holland out, and keep going. Like, it's just perfect, man.
Exactly.
This movie fucking rocks.
So, if you haven't seen it yet, jump out. It's right now, literally. Pause this, buy a ticket online, go to your cinema and fucking watch it. Because even if you aren't a Spider-Man fan, and that's kind of hard these days because everyone's a fucking Spider-Man fan these days.
Yeah.
You're going to want to fucking see this movie.
It's good.
So, without further ado, let's dive deep into this multiverse of Spider-Man and talk about everything in this movie, top to bottom, for the next, I'm probably going to say 45 minutes because there is so much more to unpack in this. And we're going to go fucking deep.
Yeah.
So,
with the runtime being 148 minutes, many things happen in this movie.
A lot of things
Many things happen.
So, if you're coming up to the end of this episode now, we're jumping into the spoiler zone. We're spoiling the whole of this movie. You can sit and watch our first spoiler-free section. Listen to that until you see the movie. Then come back and watch this portion of the review. And we can all be on the same little line here and, have a good conversation about it. So, we're going to jump into the spoiler zone in 3, 2, 1. Now's the time to turn everything off because we're jumping into this multiverse. And
let's keep talking about performances.
Okay.
We got to mention Timothy Holland. Little Jimothy Holland. Fucking good, isn't he?
He is. This is his best performance as Spider-Man.
100%.
And Peter Parker.
Yes. Yeah. And that's very important, especially in service of this story as well. Keep saying in service of. I guess that's my new thing.
A lot of service.
Yeah. But he goes through some shit in this movie.
Goes through a lot of shit.
And, the crux of this movie is he's still just a dumb kid who relies on literal wizards or still Iron Man tech and stuff, even though Iron Man's been gone for, in the universe, like 5 years or something, whatever it is. He's been gone for a while. And, the ending of this movie is him finally having to be out on his own, but still being like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm confident enough. What I've been through is...
Yeah, it is the perfect on-screen relationship of a a superhero who still doesn't quite understand what his responsibility to the world is.
Exactly. And like so desperate to do the right thing,
Yeah.
he will cause 6 catastrophic things
Yeah.
to try and get to the right thing.
Exactly.
And Aunt May brings up the point that that's what you should do, but I don't know. I don't think I agree with Aunt May on that one. There's a lot of shit happens in this movie.
Exactly right. So the famous line, with great power comes great responsibility, finally makes its way into the third and final installment of this.
Yep.
Much difference to our original 2, where it happens from Uncle Ben.
Yep.
In the first movies.
Yep.
So this one is sort of like okay, we need a nod to that Old Testament of this is the Spider-Man line. This is what he lives by.
Yeah.
But no one's been able to tell him that within the last 2 movies or the Avenger movies, because he is a kid, and they probably think he doesn't quite understand yet. But no one knows how to tell him that.
Yeah.
And it has to come from Aunt May.
Has to. There's no one else it can come from.
Which, let's spoil it now, she dies.
Yes.
We knew that this was inevitable. This is one of our predictions.
Fuck me, we got pretty much everything wrong except this.
I got a fair bit right.
You got one right. You got one standout right.
I got the mid-credits right.
You got the mid-credits right.
I got the post-credits right.
Yeah, but that came out in the news before. I'm not giving you that.
I told you that there'd be something to do with Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
So did I. I said Wanda would be in it.
3 days before it happened. Look, I got the Venom thing right, and that's what I was happening. When that thing happened, I was like, I can't wait to fucking rub this in your fucking face. I fucking called it.
I was kind of right about Green Goblin.
Yeah, in a way. So yeah, she gets her demise. We figured that would happen because
brutally sad death scene. Like they drag it on. Holy shit.
If you want to talk about crying in this movie, I did shed a tear for that one.
I only cried once, and we'll get to it.
You only cried once? Whew, I cried about 3 times.
Yeah, but yeah, they fucking hell. Like she seems okay, and they had this long moment. And they had that whole speech. And yes, you're doing the right thing, but you got to be more careful doing the right thing. And you think you're just going to walk out. Like, I genuinely thought she wasn't going to die.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, just heavily injured.
Oh, okay, I guess, it's not that kind of movie, but it's that kind of movie.
It's that kind of movie. They just really fucking tease you with it.
And then they just shoot Spider-Man in the arm.
Yeah, which is fine. You don't hear much about that afterwards.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
But yeah, Marissa Tomei delivers her final performance of Aunt May very well in this. Again, it's her trying to be the shining light in the city of always giving people a second chance, believing that, don't give up on someone because it inconveniences you, give them a chance, and then ultimately gives them the line of, with great power comes great responsibility, and that's sort of the clicking point for Parker.
Everyone has good within them somewhere.
Until she collapses and then ultimately dies.
Yeah.
Which then, we get the most emotional Tom Holland as Peter Parker we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Even more so than when Tony Stark died.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that was big on screen, but this, in the pouring rain and the slow motion shots, panning around his face, it is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
It is such a good scene. It fucking drives it in, because as J. Jonah Jameson is talking about Spider-Man being the menace that he is, and how much more do we have to fucking lose, and God help us all that we make it out of this alive because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's just so impactful at the halfway point of this movie, where it's just absolutely crushing, and it really drives in with Tom Holland as just delivering such a great performance.
Yeah, he's
throughout the rest of it.
Yeah, and it's just like, he, even though she's like giving this big speech about being good, he's still just like, well, I'm just gonna kill whoever killed Aunt May.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm gonna stop pulling punches, and then someone else comes in later and mentions that they stopped pulling punches and became old and bitter, and just it's not a nice way to live. So
exactly right.
It's
not how it's supposed to be.
And Tom Holland's Parker clearly is the youngest of them all, so he needs these lessons from multiple sources.
Yeah, without a doubt. Where do we jump next? Where do we jump to next?
Let's keep going with villains, I guess.
Keep going with villains. Let's go Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx
is delightful.
He's blue. I was right about that.
He's
very extremely briefly. You get the old Jamie Foxx.
And I really enjoyed it because it means I didn't shy away of trying to explain why he's suddenly a normal looking person.
Big dubstep drop.
Big dubstep
It's a funny
drop.
moment. It's a very funny moment.
It's incredible. He's blue for a brief moment, has a bit of a fight. And then, we get a normal-looking Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
He's Max Dillon.
Yep.
And he's very Jamie Foxx. He's
Butt-ass
witty,
naked.
That was one of my favorite jokes there. Him, because it's Sandman and Parker, and then they took down Electro there, and he returns to his normal form. He's can't absorb any more of the electricity. He's like, you're just gonna stand there acting like I'm not butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
Sandman just goes, I am.
Yeah, I forgot Sandman was good at the end of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
I forgot that he's ultimately a good guy.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I was just like, oh yeah,
of course.
I literally watched Spider-Man 3 like last week, and I already forgot.
Yeah.
That's how little impact Thomas Hayden Church made on me.
Exactly right. But Jamie Foxx continues on more or less admiring his newfound body and his newfound power in this new universe.
Because the storyline, we should mention quickly, the storyline is what happens is Spider-Man is convinced that he can turn all the villains good. He can reverse whatever made them evil, whatever. Whatever.
But before that, the whole multiverse thing of them getting here briefly is that the spell is now that the spell that got botched wasn't that the multiverse technically opened. It did, but it was more of the spell was to get everyone to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it reversed it, and now everyone who knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man is coming through.
Yeah.
So that's why we're getting all these villains.
Yeah.
And such. We'll talk about that when we get to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and that's why they all know.
But basically the villains are all here, but they don't want to just send them back. They thought, fuck. They get told, they're all going to die at the hands of Spider-Man anyway. And Tom Holland's like,
it's fate. You can't change fate.
I'm too nice about that. I want to give him a chance. Aunt May's speech, yada, yada, yada. Let's try and cure them of their sickness, of their villainous disease.
And so there's no evil Doctor Strange yet. But he does just get rid of Doctor. It's very convenient. They're just like, okay, Doctor Strange is trapped in space-time somewhere.
Yep.
So we can.
But he's given
enough
screen time to utilize all that he needs for this movie.
Yep.
Which is where they play really well to every character in this movie.
Yeah. But that was my point where I was going with that is so Electro seems on board. He's like, I can be good again, sure. As long as I still look buff and look good.
Yeah.
But the whole time he's just got this air of like, I'm not really. I kind of like being a bad guy.
I really like this body, and
I'm not sure. But he's still going along with it. He's still just like,
But he's just very on the rocks.
Yeah. The whole time it's like, oh, any minute he could go bad. He could.
Exactly.
But he's still on board because he's like, it's still better than dying.
Yeah. Everyone else seems on board.
Jamie Foxx portrays that quite well, just like through little snippy jokes or whatever, or just straight up just saying, "No, this sucks.
Yeah.
I want to be bad. I want to be a bad man."
Yep. Very coerced with Sandman, who's sort of like, I'll just go with whatever's fucking happening, eh?
Sandman just wants to leave. He's like, whatever is the shortest route to me leaving, I will just follow that route.
If that means I'll help you fucking do shit, mad.
And he's Sandman the entire time until like 30 seconds at the end.
Until he's cured.
He's like just full particle sand guy.
Yeah.
But normal human being size, normal mocap.
Yeah, until he wants to expand and
he can
turn into a fucking sandstorm and whatnot else.
Yeah.
He's a full Sandman. He's what Sandman?
Same with the lizard. The lizard is only the lizard.
Lizard is only lizard. A little bit of a revamp on the lizard as well. He's a little bit more dinosaur looking than he was in.
Still didn't give him full snout. I wish they
no full snout. I wish
they would just do that.
That would be cool.
Because that'd look truly scary.
But you got away with completely changing one villain. You can't really do it.
Yeah.
For another one,
he's pretty much in darkness the entire time. Like they do cool shots.
Yeah, he's really just sort of led to his own action sequence through the ending of the movie.
And we were right about him not doing much. He's not. He doesn't
do a lot. Yeah,
he's not a big threat.
Does a lot of climbing, a lot of chasing, but ultimately, it doesn't really carry over too far into anything. But Jamie Foxx is great. He kills it. A really good comeuppance for him to have another crack at this character and
definitely
actually have fun doing it.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Lizard is lizard. Does it. Hayden Church, yep, great. Sandman, cool.
So it is a Sinister 5.
It is a
There's
Sinister
no
5.
6.
There
Not a
is no
6.
6. Vulture does not make an appearance.
No Vulture. No Mysterio.
No
I predicted Mysterio. Nothing.
Only a bit of archive footage, so he is still currently not available. No Morbius drop, nothing else. It's just the 5. That's it.
Yeah.
So I guess let's talk about Doctor Strange then. Doctor Strange serves his whole purpose of the movie as starting the whole multiverse, opening it up.
Yeah.
Peter's the obvious reason as to why it botched. We learn what the box MacGuffin is.
Yes.
It's just the contained spell.
Yeah.
Because part of it broke out, which is what opened the multiverse for the villains that knew who Peter Parker is to come in, or anyone who knows who Peter Parker is to come in. And then the rest of the spell is contained within this MacGuffin box because you fucked it up, Peter.
Yeah.
You've done gone goofed.
And it's literally just like, that's how they get sent back to their shadow realms.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peter grabs it, so that can't happen.
Yeah.
It's not a trap. It's not Ghostbusters like I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
It is literally just like...
It's just the key to sending them all back.
A rune that'll just get rid of everyone.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice little visual way of just going, this is how we fix everything.
Yeah.
It's just a little cube. If you're not au fait with Doctor Strange or whatever, you can just go, okay, cube gets rid of them, done.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Exactly.
And Marvel's always been good at that.
And that's all it is. So the whole reason is to getting, this spell done, purely because Peter, MJ, and Ned are all trying to get into college now. It's college time.
Yep.
They're all getting knocked back because of everything that's happened with Peter Parker being Spider-Man. They're his best friends and girlfriends. Obviously, they're on the cusp of being like, yeah, due to controversies, we're not letting you in anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why the whole thing of what if everyone forgot so that my friends have a chance because they did nothing wrong, they just know me.
Yeah, exactly.
And at first we're sort of like, why is Strange helping Peter do such a weird thing?
Yeah.
And now it's literally just, he actually sort of is just more of a pure heart of being like, you are a kid and your life is pretty fucked up now, so I guess we can do this. And Wong's whole thing...
It's a good trailer mislead.
Yeah.
Because it really seemed like he was going against Wong.
Yeah, Wong's whole thing was, in the trailer, he's told, Strange, don't cast that spell.
Don't do it at all. Don't. Yeah.
Gives Parker a wink and it happens.
Yeah.
We're opposing the movie where...
Which fueled all the evil Strange stuff. It's not Doctor Strange.
Which was a great throwaway because all it was Wong going, saying, he's good at forgetting things. And Strange goes, yep, we can just do the forgetting runes.
Yeah.
And he's just like, that spell crosses the borders of places we don't know. And then he's just like, come on, we used it for less. You remember that party we threw over here? And he's just like, no. He's like, see?
Yeah. So Wong,
and he just goes, just leave me out of it.
Yeah, Wong's
walks through his portal.
I won't stop you.
And that's it.
And we find out that he's the Sorcerer Supreme as well.
He is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Because
of a technicality.
Strange got zapped. Blipped.
Strange got blipped for 5 years, so Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme, which...
by default.
By default.
Which is very funny.
But which then shows us why we're getting Wong spread through so many places.
Yeah.
He does have this high power of he's now technically the one in charge of assembling certain people and traveling here and there to do
fixing shit.
X, Y, and Z, and Strange is just hanging out, having a good time.
Yep.
Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, he just does Doctor Strange perfect. He's just a perfect Strange.
Oh, God, he's so good.
He's too good. The really cool scenes with them, obviously, is the chase and fight between him and Parker with the cube, going through the mirror dimension and whatnot else.
Yeah.
It just looks amazing.
Yeah, it's an incredible sequence.
It's just stupidly good.
Like, John Watts had that moment as well in Far From Home with the Mysterio before the train.
Was incredible.
Which is just visually just like nightmarish, but incredibly satisfying to look at. And this was like the entire first Doctor Strange movie just like fucking ramped up to 11. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it looks fantastic.
Yeah. So that looks fantastic. They have their fight. Ultimately, Peter uses the power of math to stop him and just kind of keeps him in his mirror dimension for fucking
12 hours.
Half a day. Yeah, 12 hours worth.
Yeah.
And that's all we see of Strange until the end. Mm-hmm. So they utilize Strange where they need to initialize the beginning plot to the movie, and then go, but we don't need you to interfere further on because of X, Y, and Z to happen later on. Otherwise, that's too much going on.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be too much of a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
And that's what they did that with Captain Marvel in Endgame, remember? They were just like, she's somewhere else. Oh, no, never mind, she ends it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm more than happy with how they utilise Strange in this.
Yeah,
served his purpose perfectly.
Yep.
That's all we needed to see from Strange, and he killed the parts he needed to kill.
Yeah.
All right, so beginning of the start of the movie, we got our first big cameo appearance for the future of the MCU, which was none other than one Charlie Cox.
Yep.
Returning as Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Extremely nice to see.
It was very early in the film, which I wasn't prepared for. I didn't think it was going to be that early in the movie.
Yeah.
But then obviously he's only given that brief minute-long scene anyway.
Yeah, he's not
Which is good because I think it's good to just sort of throw in that he is now cemented as a part of the MCU.
Yeah.
But further down the track for whatever they utilize him in next.
God knows when.
But just a good introduction to go, there he is. Charlie Cox is playing him. He's Daredevil. He's the lawyer because he has his brief moment where they throw a brick through the window and he has his back turned and catches it.
Yeah.
Before Peter does, and you go, he's
Charlie,
done the thing.
He's already Daredevil. Yeah.
He's already Daredevil.
But yeah, Charlie Cox is fucking rocks. He rules, man.
Yeah.
I was stoked to see him.
So it's his first introduction. It was a great little piece. Obviously, they put the cane in the shot first, and you hear and you go, fuck, there it is.
Yeah.
And he comes in with his little red glasses, and you're like, fuck yes.
This looks so good.
This is going to be great.
Looks great, yeah.
So it was our first big cameo. It was only short, brief, but again, it's just the stepping stone piece to the future because Kevin Feige has the next 20 years planned out in his head, as we always say. He knows where it's going from here. Who else before we go big?
Zendaya and Jacob.
Batalon, they do their little bits.
They're fine. Again, they do have a bit more to do this time.
Yeah, they're more or less just trying to help Peter. But in the grand scheme of things, this movie is all about Peter Parker and not as much about them.
Yeah.
They're just here to be that little bit of a helping hand to push him through and give him that guidance. And
they're like the beacons of sympathy. Their life is so affected by Peter's life.
Yeah.
It's like, that feels bad. Feels bad, man. Comes around at the end.
Yeah. So they have their little emotional pieces spread through the end. Obviously, the goodbye to Tom Holland because ultimately the what he realizes is the only option is that everyone has to forget about Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Which
including
means
Strange, including all the heroes, everyone.
Yeah. So it's more or less, which is interesting for the future now of Spider-Man being like, this is now a completely clean slate, essentially. Yeah. This is sort of Marvel's way of going, all right, so he's away from the Avengers now and whatnot else.
Yeah,
Sony can utilize him wherever they need to adjust the crime fighting.
And it adds into him growing up and being on his own. There's no Stark Tech, there's no May.
Yeah.
No Strange, I'm really glad they didn't do the power of love was stronger than the spell. Like, there's a moment at the end, MJ genuinely just has no fucking idea who he is.
Yeah, he initially goes there with a note to...
It's extremely bleak.
To read out and sort of try and explain what the situation was, but ultimately he sees, Ned and MJ have got into MIT. Thinks, okay, you know what? I think they will be better without me.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I think I need to take this step on my own and become who I am supposed to be.
Yep.
And not get loved ones involved.
Yeah.
Which is great. It was a great touching scene.
It was extremely important part of Spider-Man as a character.
It's brilliant, and just the way that all ends up is just absolutely brilliant there. Which we'll jump into before the last bit that we talk about.
Yeah.
So he moves to New York. Oh, sorry. He moves into his own place.
Yeah, he moves near where Hawkeye is happening.
Yeah.
So further into New York. Near 30 Rock.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He gets his own little apartment. We see...
Very similar to the video game.
Very similar. His phone has got like the full police tracker, which looks very video game
Straight
style.
Out of the game, yeah.
And then the biggest part of it is... He's made his own suit.
He's finally made his own suit because you see May earlier fixing his suit.
Yeah.
It's always been May or it's always been, the Stark
Tech. It's not just a suit to be who he is in it. It's
no.
This has sort of helped him be where he is, but ultimately it's not who he is.
Yeah, and it's super bright, super comic book accurate.
It's super blue and red. It's classic. It's
fucking
shiny.
gorgeous.
It's gleamy.
Yeah, it looks incredible. There's like a bit of raised webs, like in honor of prior Spider-Mans.
Yeah, it's an incredible way to end off that movie. We're saying that
dark.
it is going to be a completely newer Spider-Man for us to look forward to in the future.
Baby.
People can stop whinging about the suits going to fucking weird nanotech places.
I fucking hate nanotech suits.
Yep.
Iron Man's suit in Infinity War is the biggest crime of the entire MCU, I think. It's fucking stupid.
It is its thing. So, yeah, I think now's the time we...
But he's just very Spider-Man-y, like the Spider Sense. He's more in tune with it now, and he trusts it more.
Yeah.
It happens a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Like in Far From Home, the Peter Tingle, like, it doesn't give him a lot of room to act on it, because he doesn't really know what it is, what's happening to him. But in this one, it's almost like an anxiety, like he's having almost a panic attack, pretty much. But it's just like, I don't know, things are happening.
Such a strong sense.
Things are about to happen, and it's shot really cool. There's a really cool effect.
Yeah.
When it's happening.
Yeah.
I love that.
Actually, before we talk about the obviously the big of this movie, I guess we'll just talk about quickly the mid credits.
Oh yeah, mid credits.
Before we jump into it, so
Tom Hardy isn't Venom in this universe. He just went back to his.
Yeah, so obviously it kicks off. We see Tom Hardy at a bar in Mexico, because obviously at the ending of Venom 2, he's transported from his world into the Marvel world. He's sort of getting the rundown from the bar local as to, what the fuck is happening in this world. He's explaining about the Avengers. Now everyone, blipped away for 5 years. And just trying to come to terms with it, thinking, maybe I should go to New York and see this Spider-Man guy.
Spider-Man, yeah.
But then he kind of stands up and then doesn't know what's happening. His body does the whole silhouette fade away to nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
Little joke of the bartender being like, it doesn't pay, no tip.
So that establishes that he's not this Venom. He's not going to be this Venom. We're not going to see Tom Hardy and Peter Parker fight.
Yeah.
Because he leaves a bit of...
So a little bit of symbiote is somehow left behind, makes a little bit of movement on the table, and then cuts
So they're going to either do Black Suit Spider-Man or cast a new Eddie Brock for MCU stuff.
Another rumor that I heard just before was Flash might be Agent Venom.
He's the shittest character of any movie.
I know.
That actor is insufferable. The performance is not funny. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's not where I'd want it to go at all.
I don't want it.
Not at all. But in the same sense, I really wanted this to be Tom Hardy versus Peter Parker. It's not to say that it won't happen.
No, but
it does leave you as being like, well, where does this now take us?
There's very little else. There's no other way to interpret it, really, other than, well, all these other characters went back to their universe. We see Tom Hardy do the same animation.
Yeah.
So you put
Tom
two
Hardy's
and two
definitely
together,
gone.
Two and two together, he's not in this universe anymore.
But then who's to say that Tom Hardy isn't the same Eddie Brock in this universe?
And who's to say it wasn't Venom symbiote power who did it instead of the multiverse crack?
Yeah.
Because there was like speculation at the end of that, where it's like, was it Strange or was it?
Because there's still a lot of talk. We know Hardy's still playing Venom in the future.
Yeah.
We know that there's a Venom 3 that Hardy's a part of.
Venom 3 is announced,
There will be a Venom versus Parker showdown that will be Hardy.
Yeah.
So whether or not this is something to do with Sony and Marvel having a Venom introduction into this side of things to begin with and then move Hardy into it, we don't know. But obviously, the way trailers go and everything like that and speculation, most of the time we're going to be wrong to begin with anyway. And then it'll happen and we'll go, oh.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But it'll be 8 years down the line.
It'll be 8 years down the line until we get that.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. As I said, I fucking knew he'd show up.
Yeah, it was nice to just have him there. Just
good little thing for Tom Hardy to go, yeah, fuck yeah, I was in that as well.
No Ant-Man at all.
No Ant-Man.
Ant-Man in sight.
I think it's still too early for a bit of Ant-Man stuff
Not
anyway.
a Kang in sight, you were correct.
But we did get as it did get sort of leaked out, a teaser trailer for Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Which was just sort of showcasing a lot of what to expect.
It's pretty much ripped straight from the What If episode
Yeah.
of Evil Strange.
Yes, it's a
Very
lot of
Star Trek-y. It looks great, man.
Scarlet Witch is in it. There's a lot more Wong, and by the end of that trailer, we see an evil Doctor Strange.
Evil Doctor Strange.
Could it be Mephisto finally, or is it just evil?
Probably
Doctor
just
Strange
Evil Doctor Strange.
in a different multiversal situation? We don't know, but it was cool finally getting a little look into what to expect. So I can only gather there will be a full trailer dropping pretty
Very
soon.
yeah.
As soon as
I'll probably give it a couple of weeks breathing room.
Yeah, into the new year.
Early in the new year.
We'll get something for that one there.
Before we carry on, you vamp. I've got to go to the toilet.
Yeah, okay.
And we don't edit on this show.
Yep.
Adam's going to take the wheel.
Yeah, all right. As is tradition.
About the important thing.
I'm not going to talk about the important thing here. So guys, hopefully the future is definitely bright here for Spider-Man as a whole. Whether or not Tom Holland stays on board with it, is up for interpretation. I'm still recording, baby. Yeah, interruptions there because we don't do the show properly. But yeah, I think it'd still be great to see Tom Holland to continue as Spider-Man for at least a couple more movies. We know we've always said he doesn't want to do this past his 30s and whatnot, but, fuck. You're killing it. Why not? But with where we're going, it is not in the realm of impossibility to not get a different Spider-Man. Again, that's what superhero movies are. They're always made to recast. So we can expect another Spider-Man. More than anything, we should get Miles Morales before anything in a decision on Spider-Man's future. Obviously, that's who we want to see next. We've got the Spider-Verse version of Miles, but we need to see that live action. We need to get that new stepping stone into the Spider-Man franchise. Obviously, this has branched out so hard and given us so much. Let's keep following along the steps of going to new realms and finally bringing in Miles Morales, because everyone's waiting for him, and much like it's said in this movie and hinted to, there could be a black Spider-Man out there. So that opens the floodgates of, we probably will get him soon, and it'll be fucking great to see. But yeah, I think Jacko's returning now, and there he is. Yeah, that's okay. He washed his hands. I was just explaining on the future is bright for Tom Holland to possibly not return, as I reckon we should get Miles Morales.
Yeah, I think they'll do Miles
to appear soon.
Yeah, because he gets a mention, sort of.
I just said that gets his mention that hopefully there's a black Spider-Man out there.
Before we talk about, speaking of what I missed while I was in the toilet, we should talk about the apartment scene, because I think the apartment scene with the Sinister Five is one of the best MCU scenes of all time.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. So Peter gets them all on board. They're all on board. They all want to try and cure themselves.
Yep.
And they're all, Norman seems to be just scientist Norman. He's going to help Norman Osborn.
The line is thrown in. I'm something of a scientist myself.
He says the meme with full sincerity. Oh,
my cinema
beautiful.
lost it.
I lost my
cinema lost
mind.
it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's a very good decision.
This movie has memed itself so much, and it knows it, and it's the greatest thing I've ever fucking witnessed before.
And there's more to come after that.
There's more to come.
But yeah, Norman's like helping out, and they cure Doc Ock, which is what we assumed that was going to happen.
Fix the neck chip.
Got rid of the neck chip. Seems to kill him.
Yeah,
but
very briefly.
And they let that linger a bit long.
Yeah, a bit too long.
Which I really liked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, maybe they actually did accidentally kill him. And that's why he wasn't in the end.
Yeah.
But, it eventually works. And then just the best Spider Sense scene. Like
that is incredible. Cinematography wise, how it's shot.
Yeah.
How Tom looks as he's fucking going through this moment of
great performance.
Ridiculous.
It's very Lee Whannell because the camera's locked to him.
Yeah.
Like, walking around.
But the outside is all visually blurred.
Sounds like he's underwater.
Shaky. And he's just got this immense spider sense that fucking something is absolutely wrong right now. But what's the source?
And the scene before that is going so well. Like, this plan is going so well. Doc Ock is okay, and he's good again.
Yeah.
And he has this beautiful, teary, emotional moment where he can be himself again, and he's not hearing voices. He sees Norman supposedly being good. And it's this beautiful, emotional moment. But the whole time, like, Norman has had an ulterior motive. Like, he hasn't believed a word he's said. He hasn't meant a word he said. He's been, the whole time, he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to strike and kill them all. Like, the second I can. And fuck me, the payoff is just so crisp. And so, like, Spider-Man still gets one up on him and webs him. And just Norman doesn't give a fuck.
And then it's
like,
just
I'm still going to get out of
ultimate
this.
turn of fucking, here's the dark half.
But just like the whole scene, there's no anxiety because you don't think anyone's going to turn evil. Like, I don't know, like even knowing the trailers and the location and stuff, I was like, oh, it's going to happen later. Like, this is just going to go well. So like the drop, and as the audience as well, you feel that drop. It's just like, oh God, the plan was so sound until it wasn't.
Yep.
Because Goblin just wants chaos. He does not. There's no.
It is a complete darker half of Norman.
Just chaos. He just wants to win, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me, it's so good. It's so good. And then the fight that ensues after it, holy shit.
Yeah, it goes for such a long
Willem
time.
Dafoe doing stunts.
Willem Dafoe, and you can see it has this little trope where you can see that it's very strung up and choreographed, but it doesn't CGI itself. It makes it go.
There's one awful Black Panther CGI moment. It's a cool shot. They obviously had the shot in mind where he throws Peter through the window onto the balcony.
Yeah.
And it zooms out and around.
Yeah.
That's pretty PS2 graphics.
Yeah,
and it's just like, ooh.
But for everything else that ensues, you forgive it very
everything
quickly.
else is fine. And like, and when they're in the hallway punching on, it's fucking Willem Dafoe.
When he's on top and he's punching him and he just fucking smiles and maniacally laughs and you're like, what a fucking freak, man.
He's enjoying every punch that he's receiving. And
then there's an absolute moment where Dafoe just picks him up and like Batista just fucking body slams him through 3 floors. Yeah. And I'm like, fucking give him the title.
All the marketing of, the fight scenes are much different to most MCUs. Fucking John Wick.
Fucking right,
this
man.
This is brutal.
100%. They contacted Keanu Reeves for this and went, how do we do it?
And then, you find out later, like it comes back around again. Like in that fight, Spider-Man is pulling his punches, but at the end he's not.
Yeah.
And Goblin still laughs through it. Like he's getting punched 4,000 times harder, and he's still just laughing.
Doesn't give a shit.
Still just enjoying it because he just loves other people's misery.
He's a strong man.
That's what fuels him.
He's a strong man.
Holy shit! And that's when you go, this is his movie.
Yeah,
hands down his movie.
Yeah. All right, we've dangled this carrot long enough. People probably thought we'd drop it straight away in our spoiler review.
The spider in the room.
But we've left it till the end because how could we talk about this first? We have to get everything out of the way first. It happened.
If you thought this review was long, we're about to talk for another hour.
Yep. So it happened.
It happened.
They got it done.
We all knew it was happening.
Maguire, Garfield, returned.
And not just tacked on.
Not just tacked on. They are
so fucking crucial. They are in it
halfway point.
They are in it for almost an hour.
They come into it at the halfway point, at the pinnacle of where they need to be. Yeah. And they are given so much time.
And stuff to do.
A lot of stuff to do.
It's so fucking important that they're there. It's not just... And that's what I was saying about fan service before.
Yeah. So let's talk about...
It's electric to see them, but... They are doing so much. They get the job done. It's just like, oh my God.
So let's start with their reveals first. So, reveal first.
Reveal for me.
Reveal for you. So the reveal is initially Garfield first and then ended with Maguire. Same scene. Yeah. It's just one after the other. Yeah. That's how we're going to get it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, this is at the point now, halfway point of the movie. Aunt May's died. Peter's gone off. MJ and Ned don't know where he is. They haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
All they know is that he's given MJ the box and said, if you don't hear from me anything, just press the button and fucking end all this.
Mm-hmm.
Ned's taken the magic ring from Doctor Strange as he's left dangling in the Grand Canyon. Yeah. And eventually figures out that, he knows how to use these rings.
He's got a bit of magic in him.
They're contemplating everything. He's just like, I just wish we could find Peter. Moves his hands and a little bit of a spark comes up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I can make a portal here. So he's thinking about trying to find Peter Parker. And he's saying it opens up a portal. It opens up. We see an alleyway. We see a Spider-Man in the distance.
Boy, Adam, that sounds great. I wish I saw it.
Jack has no idea because it was at this point your blood gave up.
After May's death, I was like, okay, that's such a big moment. It's such a big emotional drop. They'll do a small exposition or whatever,
Yeah.
just a little meaningless scene after a moment as big as that.
Yeah.
So they won't show anything for a little bit longer.
Boy.
And I didn't run, because running in a cinema would make you look like a psychopath. But why do they put the toilets so far away from
I know, they need to have some closer toilets there.
So I went for a wee, and I came back, and Andrew Garfield was in full swing, making his jokes, and I was just like, oh, no. And they're going to cut, and Toby will just be already in the room, and I'm like, fuck, I missed it. So the whole way walking down the stairs, I felt sick, and I felt this pain, and I'm just like, oh, God, I'm going to cry because I missed this.
Yeah.
The only reason I wanted to watch this movie, I missed the introduction.
Yeah. But lucky enough, I sent you the video anyway, so you got a brief idea of how Garfield came into it.
I'm not as emotionally invested in Andrew Garfield. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So he makes his way through the portal, and everyone sort of freaks out because they're like, "Who is this at first?"
Yeah.
And then you hear him talking, you're like, "Oh, wait," and then pulls off the mask so greatly, and there's Andrew Garfield, scruffy head.
Hasn't aged a fucking minute.
Hasn't aged a day. Obviously, his movie's been, 8 years away.
Sooner, but he looks
He's a much younger man, but he does look exactly like he did. Just a little bit extra hair than he did from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But there he is. He's the witty Parker that we knew from his Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. Still figuring out how to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It sounds like, anyway. We don't know that much.
It's his version. It is so perfect to how he was in his movies. I still love Garfield as a Peter Parker and as Spider-Man.
Garfield was perfect. It's just those movies weren't.
He kills it because as his universe's iteration of Spider-Man, that's it. It's perfect. It's that version.
Yep.
And I love it. And just seeing him back again, not everyone's on board with the Garfield one, but just seeing him back again was just like they're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Because there he is, cracking his jokes like he does, and he's so charismatic throughout this whole movie. His energy is just fucking perfect.
Yeah, you would expect Holland to be the little puppy dog, just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But it's Garfield the whole time.
Garfield is the one.
Garfield is like the guy who's been a fan of Spider-Man his whole life, and he's finally meeting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not only Spider-Man, two Spider-Man. Like he's just he's asking questions all the time and just motor mouth the whole way. And I thought that would be Holland, but it's a really fucking funny misdirect to make Garfield that character.
It's great moments between him and then with MJ. MJ's throwing bread at him, and he's just like, why are you doing that? Stop doing that. She's like, thought you had a Spidey thing. He's like, I do, but not for bread.
Doesn't make sense. It would work for
Ned's
bread.
mum tells him to get some cobwebs up in the corner of the ceiling because he can't reach, and he's just like, fucking fine, sure.
Nice little practical shot of a room, a set built upside down. I fucking love an upside down set.
Brilliant.
To walk across the roof.
Which was perfectly how they had created in The Amazing Spider-Man as well.
I love it.
It was a rotating
I love
room.
Sets like that because it's real.
Amazing.
And they do it, and it looks fucking weird, and it works.
Yeah. So Andrew Garfield's here. Will Tobey Maguire be here?
I'm walking down the stairs.
You're walking down the stairs.
Literally 15 seconds. It would have been less than 20 seconds that I almost
could
missed
not have
the
timed
reason.
it any better. MJ says, well, I guess we keep trying until we find the real Peter Parker. No offense, Garfield. And then at that point you go...
There's a very funny hey in the off camera. Yeah. He's like, the real Peter Parker. And you hear Garfield go, hey, man. Just in the background. Yeah. It's so funny.
And at that point you go, okay, it's either 100% going to be Maguire or they're going to drop something else in this. For a brief moment, I thought, are they going to do something else quickly before they introduce Maguire?
I thought it might have just been Holland and Maguire would have a hero's entrance.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd just throw him straight in. But the character of Maguire's Parker in this universe is that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because he is the cool, calm and collected, super experienced Peter Parker.
Yes, exactly.
He is
right.
The mentor. But
Ned opens the portal, comes out from behind him. It's a very dark lit room. In walks a casual clothed man.
Youth pastor, Andrew Garfield calls him.
Pastor. It is Tobey Maguire.
Back
on screen.
What a moment.
In such a very young Spider-Man 1 Maguire-esque feel to his character, but obviously aged on.
See, I didn't get that at all. I got the second he stepped through the portal, he was so confident and age. Like what I was saying before about what you have to get used to. You have to get used to. Tobey Maguire looks so different. He is, because it's been 20 years.
Yeah, he's a lot thinner. He's older.
Yeah.
But he's looking good, though. He's still looking good.
He looks fantastic, but he looks different.
He's not the Spider-Man build that he had originally.
So, yeah, when he walks in, he's just like, yeah, I've been looking for you. Like,
yeah,
he's the older, wiser. He sort of knows what's going on, and that's one of those conveniences where you're like, well, how does he know that in his universe? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
but then you're just like, okay, he's probably been in this universe for longer than we expect.
Yeah, and it's apparent that they made this a much more aged version of Tobey Maguire, because obviously you got to explain that he is a lot older than the other ones.
Yes.
So it's not like he's been picked off from, the very end of Spider-Man 3 or middle of Spider-Man 2. No, he's lived a bit of a life as Peter Parker, and then he's pulled out from that universe.
Yeah.
Because obviously the time zones are very different, because obviously you got Green Goblin and Doc Ock.
Yeah.
But obviously Goblin died before Ock.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're pulled from different parts of the universe at different times.
Different times.
Which is a little bit, I think people are sort of looking past here and there, because we still don't really understand the multiverse as to how that would happen.
And you're just seeing them on screen. You're just like, fine.
Yeah, you just go with it. It's fucking great.
And they're doing well, and yeah.
Yeah. So, all the Spider-Men are here.
All the Spider-Men are here.
Where do we go from here now?
Well,
we go to giving them more screen time.
Yep.
We're at the halfway point, and you go, fuck.
Still a lot of movie left.
Movie.
Yeah.
Are they just going to sort of fuck off and try to do their own thing, and then we'll get them back for like an end fight? No, they're going to stay on board and help in every scenario.
I can't believe it. I can't believe they had this much to do.
So much. I was shocked.
I genuinely just thought it would be a Star Wars.
I was so shocked.
Remember them?
Yep. Here they are. And then there they go.
So much to do, yeah. That was the only time I cried. Like, seeing Tobey Maguire on screen for the first time since 2007. And I haven't seen him on a cinema screen since 2007.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you had with yours, massive round of applause.
We got cheers and gasps and stuff. No claps.
My first session was the loudest clapping and cheering I've ever heard in my life. More than at a fucking award ceremony or something. This cinema fucking erupted.
Yeah.
With cheers for Andrew and then for Toby.
Yeah. Alyssa said Andrew got a big reaction.
He got a huge reaction.
And I think everyone was just kind of expecting Toby. I don't know, but it was a bit more reserved for Toby. But I was holding in sobs.
Well, the level for Andrew was a 10, and then when Toby, it was a fucking 15.
Yeah, right. Fuck, I wish I had that. I wish I had that in my session.
My second session, a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But it was more claps than it was cheers for my second session. My first one was abundance of all of it.
Like, there were a lot of kids in our session. I was like, maybe people don't know who he is, and I just felt so old.
No,
but I was just like, the gravitas of seeing this guy. Like, the reason I like movies was because I finally got to see Spider-Man on a screen.
Yeah,
and it was that guy.
Yeah,
and just the weight of that moment, and just going, fucking hell, they're doing it.
Yeah,
and not knowing what the rest of the movie was going to be.
Yeah,
I was just like, I was weeping, man.
Yeah,
I was fucking weeping.
Yeah, I had tears in my eyes for that. It was there without a doubt.
It was the same kind of cry as where, like, everyone expects you to cry at Tony Stark dying. No. Yeah. I cried at Captain America wielding, like, you know, it was just the weight of the moment.
Yeah, because it was just ridiculous of just knowing that somehow
they got him back.
He hasn't
acted. Back. He hasn't been in a role, and
this was a big acting role for him. Like, this wasn't just you're back to do this sort of thing.
No, you have to act.
No, you've got to get in a suit again. You've got to do this, that, and the other. You need to portray dialogue in different ways.
Yeah, but also a way you did it 20 years ago.
Exactly.
You have to be that guy. You have to imagine him aged and happy. He has that line where he's like, I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be better. And you find out him and MJ made it.
Yeah.
They got together. So they made it. Their marriage works.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
So they dropped them both very early in to help find Tom Holland's Parker after Aunt May's death.
Yeah. And
then it's a brilliant shot of Andrew and Toby sitting on top of the building there above Tom Holland's view.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just they're talking about their experiences and that. You know, I lost Gwen, who was your MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most beautiful pieces of script writing I've ever seen in a movie ever. Is Andrew Garfield knows how this feels. Tobey Maguire knows how this feels. So when Tom Holland snaps at them and goes, "You don't know anything. You don't know what I'm feeling right now."
Don't tell me you know how this feels.
Instead of going, "Well, yeah, I've been there." Like, Andrew just looks down and goes, "Yeah, okay." because he knows what this feels like. He knows he wants to blame anyone.
Yeah.
He knows Tom Holland doesn't mean it. And
Yeah.
2 words. He just says, yeah, okay. 2 words convey that perfectly. In the performance, like, it's just fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you get Toby speaking about the first movie from Uncle Ben dying and saying, he hunted down the man that killed him.
Yeah.
He wanted to kill him. He got what he wanted, and it did not work.
Nothing changed.
Made him not okay.
Yeah. And Andrew talks about being bitter and hating being Spider-Man, but still being Spider-Man to prove a point or something.
I knew I had to still be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that everyone needs.
Yeah. But eventually I stopped pulling my punches, and that's a big moment. Like, Spider-Man always pulls his punches.
Always. So they get a lovely emotional discussion there of all talking about, Tom Holland goes, she told me, with great power.
Yeah.
And then Maguire's face, he's just like, socially, he's like, comes great responsibility.
Maguire's acting.
Maguire looks at it like, holy fuck, he's heard it.
He does it.
And he's like, how do you know that? Garfield's like, Uncle Ben said it. And Maguire's like, the night he died.
There you go.
And you go, fuck, see, it all comes circle.
Yeah, and they all just click. And
if someone's ever going to tell you that line, they're about to die.
Yeah,
just know that. It's confirmed.
And that 20 minutes is so fucking emotional. Like, from Aunt May's death to Tom Holland, like, exploding and lashing out at them. It's just so brutally emotional and sad and overwhelming and stuff. And then the jokes start. Thank God. Like, John Watts comes back and he's like, okay, like, remember Homecoming was a funny high school movie?
Yep.
So the rest of this is going to be a funny high school movie.
Get them all in the lab, because they're all now going to work out how to take down all the villains, give them all their cures.
Yeah.
And then, everything kicks in.
And all the jokes you see coming, like, Ned says, hey, Peter, and they all look up. And that goes on for a bit
Peter,
too long.
Peter is like, still all Peter. Yeah. Peter Parker, again, we're all still that.
And it's just like, okay, that's the tone for the rest of the movie. Yeah. And I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, they're all being exactly who they are. Garfield's being the more over-the-top scientist type of all three.
Puts on a lab coat and everything.
Puts on the lab coat. He's full into it. Maguire's just, doing his humble little quiet in the corner, getting it done. Yeah. Tells Ned about, I had a best friend, he died in my arms after he tried to kill me. And then it's just the funny part of Ned being like...
Jacob Batalon in that moment. Fucking hell. That's a beautiful performance. It's so funny.
That ending scene.
Talk about eruption. Like, that got one of the biggest laughs.
Because it was even that when he, like, telling me, like, I promise you I will never try and betray you and kill you. And then Andrew Garfield just gives him the...
Yeah. And, like, the whole world was just like, oh, Ned's going to be a villain eventually. Like, I don't know.
No,
like,
if anything, he's setting up to be the next Doctor Strange.
Obviously, like, this movie was already written and stuff, but that really felt like just going, no, you're all wrong.
Nah.
Fuck you.
He's okay.
But yeah, even through all of that, Maguire's just like fuck me, I could talk about him being wise and finally a good Spider-Man. Like, he's the perfect Spider-Man.
Because he's so calm and collective.
He's so calm and collected. He lets Garfield talk about Gwen.
Yeah.
He's like, do you have an MJ, whatever? And Garfield tells the story, obviously.
He's like, I did.
And Maguire's just like, just hang in there.
Yeah.
It'll work out. It's going to be really hard. You're going to fuck up heaps, but just hang in there. And it's just like, old wise Spider-Man telling young, slightly more mature Spider-Man to make him more mature, my God, it's just Maguire, like, perfect. Fucking perfect how they wrote him. Just as mentor Maguire.
I think through this, like the initial reveal and getting into this lab scene and then moving into the final showdown
battle,
regardless of anyone's opinion on any of the Spider-Man, when they're all together, every single one of them are a perfect Spider-Man.
You can't deny it. Yeah.
You look at them and go, all of them, I fucking love you all.
All unmistakably Spider-Man too.
Exactly right.
If you know anything about the character of Spider-Man in any iteration, they're all just perfect.
All just absolutely perfect.
And and you're right. It really does shine a light on how good the casting was for Garfield. Because
everyone forgets the everything wrong that happened with the previous Spider-Man. In this movie, you forgive everything. Yeah. Just to know that you've got this moment.
Yeah.
And you get to experience every single Spider-Man on screen together.
Yeah.
fighting with each other to take down a couple of bads that they've already versed.
Making self-referential jokes about how bad their movies were and stuff, like
having their moments. So yeah, obviously let's end it all off and talk about the final showdown. The fight between now of all three Spider-Man, between Electro, Sandman, and Lizard, and then eventually Green Goblin by the end of it. So it's everything in the scaffolding. Obviously, we knew it was going to happen, but seeing them all in suit, Toby's now in suit. Garfield was always in suit, and they're all just chatting, talking, and shooting the shit about each other's universes and
we get a back joke.
Spider-Man.
We get a Tobey Maguire back joke.
We get the lower back joke from Toby.
Still running with that joke,
but
and
it's
I love
incredible. Garfield's like, "You want to crack your back?"
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And that's very much like in the marketing they were saying, John Watts made the whole cast, the whole crew watch a bunch of John Hughes movies, like teen comedies.
Yeah.
And that moment, like the fact that it lingers on a bit too long and the joke just keeps going and they have this very human moment together where Andrew Garfield cracks Tobey Maguire's back. It's just like the big evil villain showdown is about to happen. And there's two grown men cracking each other's back.
Yeah.
It's just like that's what I didn't love Homecoming when I first saw it because I was like, I don't like this teenage human shit.
It was very different to get
Give me
into.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But now, like, it all just makes so much sense. It all just comes around. And that's just part of that gift I was talking about.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, now they're all teaming up to take down the last remaining big bads, try to cure them, give them that second chance. We're really going to make it happen. But now I've got the power of all the Spider-Men.
Yeah.
So,
power of friendship and teamwork.
Power of friendship and teamwork, which
every single Marvel movie on the planet.
They don't have the teamwork to begin with.
No.
The fighting's all happening and they're all swinging around, trying to do their bits. But they're all sort of like getting in each other's way. They're not communicating properly because they're all called Peter Parker.
Garfield webs Toby to a crane at one point.
Yeah,
it's completely ruins it.
Because they're talking about, obviously they bring up the whole, Maguire's got, actual web inside of him.
And that joke comes up a few times.
Yeah, and the other two, they've got their own web blasters and shit.
They make a cum joke.
Blast
Everyone,
in the face.
They do it in this child's Marvel movie. They make a cum joke.
Yeah, Holland has to go. Does it just come from your wrists or does it come out from anywhere else?
And I was watching it with Alyssa and Jessica, who are the two just cum joke connoisseurs.
Yep.
And fucking hell, talk about an audience reaction. It was just us three going, yes, cum joke. Yes.
Yep.
So you like that podcast extraordinaires.
So then there's a great moment then after that where they're sort of going, we've never worked in a team before. We're like, no, neither have I. All right, we need to figure this out. And then in comes Wise Maguire. Let's target one. And work on him and then go the next.
Which isn't true because Maguire and Harry Osborn teamed up on the snowboard at the end of Spider-Man 3.
Yep. So they all have their great moment there. They've started their swinging in there. They're fucked up. Now they're going like, no, let's work this out. Let's get it sorted. And then Tom Holland's like, what? I have worked in a team before, not to fucking gloat or anything right now, but I was in the Avengers. And then Maguire out of nowhere just goes, wow, really? What is that?
Yeah.
And then he starts explaining and then he just goes, how is any of this helping? Just randomly out of nowhere, he just explodes at it.
Yeah.
There's going like, this does not help the situation at all. And it's brilliant.
It's so fucking funny.
And then it's at that moment there where they sneak in the Spider-Man meme of them all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
It's very subtle.
It's so brief.
You don't pick it up unless you go back onto the internet and you see it screen grabbed, which I sent to you as well. And because it's them sort of, Maguire and Holland are sort of pointing at each other and Garfield's a little bit there, but it's that perfect where they're at a perfect triangle, all looking at one another. And you go, that's the scene where, because you can't just drop that in the movie and expect it to make sense.
No.
This way it made sense, but it gave you that nod to the meme of them all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
But after that, obviously, you then get them in tandem and they're really finding their groove. And then it looks fucking gorgeous when they're all swinging together.
Yeah.
They're all screaming out. And then they all drop on that fucking centerpiece of the Statue of Liberty. And all three Spider-Men are doing their fucking stance on there. My cinema clapped for that as well.
Yeah. I missed so much of that because my eyes just naturally, like I just couldn't help it, were just fixed to Raimi suit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was just staring at Raimi.
The
Raimi
gorgeous.
suit the whole time.
It looked gorgeous the whole time. But the fighting is great.
It's very, very chaotic and swinging around and stuff. And
Yeah.
if you don't like that sort of thing, you'll probably lose it a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I can see people going, "Oh, it's a bit Transformers-y," but it's better directed than a Transformers. But
100%.
it is still extremely chaotic, as it would be with 5 extremely powerful villains.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Yeah, in one little congested area.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does it so well. You get your fight. Everyone's starting to get cured. It's really just now Green Goblin comes into effect.
You get the first Maguire is going to die fake out.
Yeah.
He gets drowned in sand.
Yeah, starting to get drowned.
I'll say it. Every time they reference it, they do an Evil Dead reference. He punches his hand out of the sand like in the Evil Dead. Be still my beating
Does
heart.
it. Cures him. Everything's all good.
And then it's finally, like the whole time you're just like, is it Thomas Hayden Church? I think it is.
Yeah.
And you finally see his face, and you just like,
face comes up, and you go, ooh.
And you go, oh, it is him. I still don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Didn't have to DH him. They went, yeah, you're fucked, mate.
He was
just stay
he was
here,
old in
you
2007.
You get one scene, and then that's it.
No one
as
cares.
your real face.
Yeah.
Doc Ock comes back in.
Yep.
Don't
know where he was.
He just kind of yeeted on out of there after the apartment fiasco.
Yeah.
But then comes back here and sort of fakes out that he's going to take down the other 2 Parkers.
Yeah.
But then pulls out the arc reactor from
It's a nice little trick.
Electro's body, puts in the absorbing one to get rid of all the electricity. Doc Ock's are good. Helped out.
I love that. I fucking love that.
And then, same Lizard gets his cure as well. We then see Reese Evans come in.
And I like that Maguire and Molina had that little reunion. I like that Doc Ock was good in that moment. So the reunion is them as mates.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a fake out there.
Yeah. But and then Garfield and Fox have a really beautiful moment together.
They have their own little
it's a
beautiful
very,
moment
very
as
nice
well.
moment. And just like Garfield trying to keep going, no, you weren't a nobody.
Because it's like it's them being able to give that chance to talk to the bad and being like, see, like, it's fine if you're like this.
Yeah.
We believe in you. Where it gives that warm sense of they didn't have to die for nothing of just being misunderstood or whatever.
Yeah.
They got a chance. They got fixed.
Yeah. If you just let the rage settle.
Yeah. So it's a good way to sort of turn the violence back and go, everything can be sorted out.
Yeah.
Fine. And then, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. We'll work this out.
Extremely funny joke where Max Dillon, he's never seen Peter Parker. He's never seen Andrew Garfield. He's just like, oh, you're from Queens.
Like, you're from
I thought
Queens,
you'd be black.
You help poor people.
Yeah.
You're behind a mask and all this. I just thought you'd be black.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Big laugh in our audience.
Yeah, and then he just gets oh, well, I'm sure there's a black Spider-Man out there somewhere.
There you go, winking a nod,
and then
baby.
Garfield does this little, thing almost to the camera.
Almost. It's so close to being to your camera.
Hey, we're getting up there. So then obviously the Green Goblin comes back into it now. He's fucked off and brought in his upgraded suit.
Yeah.
Which is just a couple blades on the wrist.
Yeah.
Just the hood, a couple pair of goggles and that.
Yeah.
And starts the ultimate ending to this showdown now between Parker. And they're having their little fight. He's throwing pumpkin bombs fucking wherever. And then MJ now within the scaffolding scene with the box. Doctor Strange has the box back now at this point.
Yeah, Doctor Strange gets it, but he sees
it.
that Peter's plan has worked.
Yeah, seeing that, but he was also going to try and put a stop to it.
There's sort of a reluctant admiration and good on him, but I still have to stop this.
Then the famous MJ scene from the trailer happens.
Yep.
Where she's falling. We see Tom Holland's Parker fly down to her. And I love what they did with this, because the trailer obviously made it seem like he's going to catch her, or that's Andrew Garfield's hand that's going to save her.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's just about to get her. Goblin glides him out of the way, and you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. They might actually kill MJ.
But then very quickly, Garfield fucking sprints at full ball.
Yeah.
Dives down, catches her, webs it.
But does it differently. He cradles her
webs up, and then turns his body around.
Rather than snapping her spine in half.
Stops there. He's holding there, and he's just like, "Are you okay?" She's like,
yes. He's like bawling his eyes out.
Cry, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's just like, My cinema was just like, oh.
Yeah. And it's
I had a little cry at that.
beautiful closure to that moment, and not redemption because Gwen Stacy's still dead, but just like he learns. It's showing him maturing as Spider-Man as well. He did it right this time. But, still it reminds me of killing his girlfriend.
Exactly right. But it still makes him feel like he didn't have to subject someone else to that same torment.
Yeah.
And
this Peter Parker didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, he's already gone through his own loss as well very quickly in this. So, then the big ending fight between Green Goblin and Tom Holland.
More great, just body to body.
It's all straight body to body fighting. Incredible. This is where we get the darker Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out to really throw his punches and definitely not pull the punches.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely go full ball.
And Goblin's saying the most horrible things about him being responsible for May's death. It is cutting dialogue.
And it's Dafoe
delivering it with that smile, that voice. God, he's enjoying it too much, I think.
Too much.
I think Willem Dafoe enjoys it too much.
Why not go all out on this?
God, that performance.
So then he's going to stab him with the glider.
Throw back there.
Throw back there to just getting the glider and fucking yeeting. But then Toby swings in, stops him. And then he gets stabbed in the back by the goblin.
Stabbed in the back, yeah.
My cinema at that point were like, no!
Our cinema got a big no.
They had a big gasp on that one.
I think I did it. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Of course they got to kill him.
Yeah, but he didn't.
He's all right. He's all right, everybody.
He's been stabbed before.
He's fine.
He so eloquently put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they basically inject him with the correct serum to get rid of the darker half.
Yep.
Goblin's all good. Everyone's all nice and happy.
Norman's fine.
The spell is ultimately broken out of Doctor Strange's MacGuffin at this point.
Yeah.
He's trying to mend everything as this fight's ensuing. Parker then goes up and says, obviously, I think the only way now is to have everyone forget.
Yeah.
And there's some great moments with Strange closing up these spells as we're sort of seeing the multiverse, and then like, well, was that all people up there?
Yeah.
We're seeing glimpses of
see some
villains.
Rhino, you see some Scorpions.
You see Kraven the Hunter.
You do see Kraven the Hunter.
You see Black Cat. Was one that
I missed that
from it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at first, but the second time I was like, Black Cat.
Yeah. I thought she would have been a Sony, but I reckon they'll make her the next love interest.
Yeah. Obviously very easy for them just to throw in a bunch of white silhouetted figures. Don't have to pay anyone off for that there.
Yeah.
You can interpret it however you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the Rhino was very classic Rhino looking.
Yeah.
No Paul Giamatti suit, which I love the joke they made about it as well.
Yeah.
Talking about their craziest villains that they fought. And Gargoyle's like, I fought a crazy Russian in a Rhino suit.
He's jealous that their villains are cooler.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
Yeah. And then Toby's just going, no, you're amazing. No, really, you're amazing.
Say it. I want to hear you say it.
He's like, I needed to hear that, thanks.
Yeah. And it just fits in with the youth pastor joke. Like, Maguire's a little too positive and too motivational. It's like,
exactly.
The character's so good.
Yep. Everything's all good. The Stranger's going to do the spell. And then obviously we spoke about the ending before, how it ended, and everyone blips back to their own universes.
Yep.
We get a lovely hugging scene between all three Spider-Man, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
It was almost like they made that scene for Tom Holland to go, thank you for both being Spider-Man before me.
Yeah, that's not...
That wasn't how that was supposed to go, but they went, just say thank you to him if that's what you want to do, and you could say that's where they were going for.
Yeah,
thank you for
your
3
legacy
generations
and
of
stuff.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And then they undercut it with a joke as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're in a lot of pain, aren't you?
I am. And it's absolutely amazing. Everyone cries because they're sad that they're going to forget Peter Parker.
Yep.
But we spoke at the end about what happened and in the mid-credits and that, and the movie ends. We got the perfect Spider-Man movie that there ever will be.
I cannot believe that they did it. I just can't believe it's this.
We got to look at they got all 5 original villains and their actors to return.
Yeah.
We got both original Spider-Man to come back and also feature heavily in this.
Be a part of it, not just feature. They are part of it.
This isn't just because if it had been a quick nod into it, then all that is just a lick of fan service going, yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
This was them going, fuck that. Make them an integral part of this movie.
Yeah.
And make it so imprinting on everyone's brain that they get to enjoy a Spider-Man movie with every Spider-Man that every different corner of the world has loved for different reasons, but bring them together collectively where everyone goes, we're all on board together.
Yeah. This
These are our
time,
Spider-Man.
they get closure, they get redemption, they get a nice send-off.
Yeah.
They finally get that.
This is the absolute most perfect way to end a comic book trilogy and just absolutely cement it as now being the pinnacle of comic book movies.
Yeah.
This is, for me now, this is the best out of all of them.
I still think Endgame's better.
Nah, this is so much better than Endgame.
But yeah, this is a mind-blowing movie.
But
I can't believe it. I can't believe it was cohesive. I can't believe it. The wheels didn't fall
worked.
off.
That it worked. And yes, it
not at
didn't
one
fall
point.
off.
The glue didn't come unstuck. It all just worked.
Yeah, and there's so much we didn't talk about in this movie.
Oh, of course. We
But
did
if we
fucking
were
10 episodes
if
on
we
this.
dissected this whole movie, yeah,
And I'm running out of disk space.
exactly
so.
right as well. So we need to wrap it up.
But yeah,
But
it's just like
it did everything so right.
pretty much nothing you can pick at, really.
No, I can't.
I tried. I tried to pick at it, and
I looked at
some of the conveniences. Yeah, if you're not just wrapped up in it, you'll be like, oh, come on.
when I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes and I looked at the critics, there were 7 critics that class this as rotten, and I couldn't make heads or tails of the review as to why. I think they're just those type of people,
just contrarians, like
where they just go, no, I want to be that person. That
someone
goes,
has
nah.
to dislike everything.
Exactly.
You know,
But this is the closest movie to getting everything right, where everyone goes, yes, absolutely yes to this.
Yeah, perfect. I'm happy to call this movie perfect. I think it's fucking perfect.
To round out the year we've had with the movies that we've gotten, fucking boy, are we glad that this is how we could end this year.
Thank fucking God.
Because there's not much else left. I mean, the next biggest thing is The Matrix, which is
comes out next week. Comes out on Boxing Day.
Comes out on Boxing Day. So, I mean, we might do something for the Christmas. I don't know. We might do
Maybe
something
we'll just do The
brief,
Matrix.
something small.
Because I will be moving house as well. So
yeah, true. So,
time might be of the essence.
Yeah, so we might just do The Matrix, figure out something for 99. 100, which will be your final. We won't do a movie. We're just going to send you off.
Yeah, that'll be a live
We'll
stream.
do our award ceremony for the year.
Yep.
Our winners and losers of the year, which will be the funnest part.
Oh, mate, that losers list.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's going to be big. Obviously, have some drinks in that for you as well, and just obviously just look back in the 2 years that we've had it as a show as a whole.
Yeah.
And prepare for the fucking future, I guess. So,
hell yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
It's all been built into this.
This is the biggest review that we've ever fucking done. This is an hour and a half review of just the movie. If that doesn't tell you anything about this
you
movie,
like that extra, eat your heart out.
fucking, hey,
This episode's going for 20 minutes.
This is fucking, yeah, this is the You Like That podcast and the extra all merge into one, so fuck the extras for this one. Guys, if you've stuck around for this whole episode, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube or follow us on any of the audio platforms where we are available, because we're available everywhere. There is a link tree in our description. You can find us all socials. We're there. There's a Redbubble store with merch on there. We do an extra show through the week, which we're sort of slowing down at the moment because of Jack's untimely leaving of the show. It's just sort of, we'll just let that go until...
Yes, and I'm running out of time every week.
Exactly right.
So I don't have time to do anything.
We'll call the extra done until the season 5 kicks in with the new show. Yeah, send us your screenies. Send us your thoughts on Spider-Man as well. I'm sure they're as positive as what we think it is.
We can all talk about it now.
Now we can all talk about it.
But
nice. Again, if you have friends that haven't seen it, don't spoil it for them. Much like we did.
Thank you all very much for not messaging us and just being cool about it.
Yeah.
Like
I think, heard nothing from no one.
Jumping back on the internet today, it seems like, I don't know what I missed, but it seems like everyone's just being cool about it.
Very hard to find the spoilers. TikTok was the worst for me to find them.
Yeah, it's all kids.
There were a lot of warnings before the video played, but it's always the video's playing at that time where something's happening and you're like, by the time I've read it, I've seen it.
But YouTube thumbnails and titles, like everyone was just
YouTube's
being
been
very
fine.
cool about
Twitter's been fine unless you go into the tags and look for it.
Yeah.
You won't find it otherwise. So props to the fucking world.
Yeah.
Here's to the best Spider-Man movie that there will ever be.
Let's keep doing that for future movies, especially The Matrix. I don't want The Matrix spoiled for me.
Yeah, no. I'm very excited to rewatch all the Matrixes before this comes out so I can be fresh because I do not remember anything about The Matrix.
Yeah.
So, until we see you guys all for the Matrix, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas if we don't see you by then, which we probably won't. I guess
It's literally next week.
We'll call it after Christmas, depending on what we have. I'm working all of Boxing Day anyway, so
am I.
we'll have a break for Christmas, which we never usually do, but fuck it. It's Christmas, why not? So have a Merry Christmas from us here at the You Like That podcast. Until we see you for that episode, you've been joined with me. My name is Adam, and I'm one half of the You Like That podcast.
My name's Jack. I'm the other half of the You Like That podcast.
And we will see you all next week.
So bye.